I say focus on today, because tomorrow will automatically follow. Prepare yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually to meet and greet the future. Make sure that you reach and take hold of that golden ring that's up there, because it will make your life for the next 100 years. So I say to you again, this is the life that we're dying to live. So let's live it. Today is finding a new you. And it's like the pros and cons of really aging, okay? First of all, George Carlin, who I love. Everybody knows George Carlin. I found this on the web the other day. George Carlin said, my next life. I want to live my next life backwards. You start out dead, and you get that out of the way. Then you wake up in a nursing home, and you're feeling better every day. Then you get kicked out for being too healthy. Then you enjoy retirement, and you collect your pension. I like that. Then when you start to work, you get a gold watch on your first day. You work 40 years until you're too young to work. Then you get ready for high school, and you drink, and you play, and you have sex, and you have no responsibilities. It's wonderful. Then you become a baby again. And then you spend your last 9 months floating peacefully in luxury, in a spa-like condition. Central heating room service on tap, and then, the best part, you finish off as an orgasm. I love that. I gotta tell you, someone asked me the other day, you know, how do you do it, Jackie? You know, you're 75 and a half years young. I mean, how do you do it? I said, well, okay. See that? There is 24 vitamins in here. Every morning. This is my thing. Every morning, you name it, I take it. So, girls, vitamins. Vitamins, vitamins, vitamins. And I take it every morning. So, you should know that. First of all, today is like 10 rules about finding a new you. So everybody sitting here, I said that to a seminar I did a few weeks ago at Rotary. And I said, it's something, you're going to find a new you in this man, Smarty. Pink lady. I said, yeah. What do you mean finding a new you? I'm really happy with me. And I looked at him, I said, but maybe your wife isn't. Oh, okay. Well, you know, right away, he was fine after that. And then it was a group it was literally more men than women in this group. And I don't know if I told you, but I walked on, and I knew that I had to get them the minute I walked up, or I'd be dead, right? And I hear this little pink fluff comes out, and they're like, oh yeah, look at her, you know, Joe, like, whatever. So I walked out, and I said, hi guys, hi ladies. I said, first of all, everybody, my card is on the table out there. And I said, how many single men are there? Hands went up. Good. I said, I'm going to wait a second. You got 1 second to go out and get my card. And then bring it back and call me whenever you want to. Okay. And that kind of broke the ice. So we were okay by that. People say that happiness comes from within. Now think about that, okay? Because we were talking about, Lee was sweet enough to say that she saw one of my pictures. And she said, you know what? That picture really doesn't do you justice. You look so much younger and more vibrant, you know, when you're in person. And I said, you know what? It's really funny you say that. I wish we all had a camera that would take us and take the inside of us and bring it out. Because in every single one of us, there is really such a beautiful inside. But you know what? A lot of us sitting here don't realize that that inside is there. And it is beautiful. And what you have to do is work on it to bring it out. So where does it come from? Okay? It comes from our physical being. It comes from our mental. But then it comes from a third thing. It comes from our spiritual. It comes from our soul. And that's what we want to work on. Because we all have souls. And we're all very spiritual. But you know what? In our daily life, we're so busy running to Costco and running to the market and making dinner or working or whatever that we forget to kind of cultivate the thing that's in us that can give us some joy. And it shows in our outer demeanor. So I think that life comes from outside things as well. It comes from your family. It comes from your friends. It comes from your coworkers. It comes from people that are sitting right here. So one of the rules to finding a new you is to find that inner happiness that's there, that really wants to come out. Life, to me, can be taken with baby steps. And you know how we take baby steps and do things in life? We have to learn to relax. We have to think of what I call positive psychology. And what that means is looking at what really and truly makes us happy, makes us energetic. And then we can commit to other people and show them how we are in dealing with our relationships. Funniest thing happened. I'm out the other day, and this goes, I skip around, okay? We all make mistakes in our life, but you know what? The main thing is if you make a mistake, learn by it. Learn and do the right thing. This goes back to being a mature adult. I'm in the market the other day, and I've got a lot of groceries. I'm getting ready for this, and then we have our Passover coming. I'm getting ready for that, and I've loaded my cart. And I didn't notice, I swear, I mean, I was not doing it intentionally. I did not notice that it said 15 items only. So I get up there, and this woman goes like this, hand over it. I mean, the attitude is coming out of her. So what are you doing? I'm unloading. You don't see the thing up there. I'm unloading. I thought, I'm unloading. Maybe someone could give me a hand, because I mean, I had a basket. Chewing gum. We don't have anybody unloading today. Right. Thank you. I'll take a few minutes. I'm unloading. Did you notice the sign? No, something else on sale. I mean, by now I got tons of things on sale, right? Now the sign, honey. The sign, honey, it says 15 items. Oh my God. Now by now, it is like from there to there, all my stuff. In fact, the Tide, and that is heavy. Tide is up there, everything's up there, the water, everything. She says to me, 15 items, lady. I said, oh, you know what, I am so, and I meant this. I am like so sorry. I said, I really didn't see it. Well, it's there. Right. Meanwhile, she's not moving. She's not even typing my number in, because to get the discount at Ralph, nothing. I said, is there going to be a problem? Well, yeah. I mean, no one's behind me now. I said, well, could you do me a favor? I said, I did make a mistake. Well, you know what? I'm really not supposed to do this. And the gum is going. I really am not supposed to do this. And I said, okay. I said, thank you. And I'm just leaving. And she goes, excuse me, where are you going? I said, I'm out of here. If you can't take me, if you think I'm going to put all this GD stuff back in my basket and go to another counter, you're out of your friggin' mind. So she looks at me, she goes, oh, well, okay. And then she starts to do it. So my point is, life is attitudes. And you know what? Hers was not inside of hers. Hers was outside. There was nothing kind about what she was doing. But when they see sometimes, shall we say, a mature adult, they think that we're going to take the basket back, oh my God, I'm sorry, and run and do something else. Forget it. If you make a mistake, you made an honest mistake. You don't have to hang by it. Just take yourself, and I don't say be aggressive. You be assertive. And that word assertive is very important to each one of you here today. Let me tell you why. If you're aggressive at this stage, they always say, oh, that old lady or that old man. Look at them. I mean, with a loud voice and nasty attitude or whatever. And they do. The point is, if you're assertive, all you're doing is taking yourself and being in command of a situation and saying, you know what? I'm human, you're human, I made a mistake, or whatever, and that's it. So there is a difference, and we really should be all assertive sitting here today. You have begun a journey. You have begun a journey towards the best years of your life. And I say to you, with all humility, it is never, ever too late to restart, rethink, and reinvent your life. Make sure that you give yourself a chance to have that exciting, adventurous, and fulfilling life that's out there for you. And I really honestly mean that. Don't think because of age. Really and truly. I met a lady the other day. I'm sitting at the coffee shop. In fact, I was at Cable's. I ran in for a second. And I'm sitting there, and this little lady walks in, and she's talking, and points to me. And she said, I've seen you somewhere. And I said, well, I'm in the Daily News, or I give seminars, or whatever. She said, oh my goodness, yes. She said, I saw you at Kaiser, that's where. And we started to talk. The woman is 94 years old. Years young, I'm going to say. She plays the piano. She plays tennis.
Oh my God.
I looked at her. It was just amazing. She has a new boyfriend. She says, I got rid of the old one. He couldn't keep up with me. I invited her to our class. Maybe next time she'll come. Be kind to yourself, okay? There will always be times when it's hard to remember your strengths. There are times when you need to give yourself special attention. Be kind to yourself. Listen to your needs and treat yourself as you would a friend. Encourage yourself. Remember what you truly want and fight for it as you would your life. Appreciate yourself. Don't take for granted the qualities that make you unique. Focus yourself. It's with discipline and motivation that you move toward your goals. By giving towards yourself. In that way, your strength will thrive and you'll realize the goals that you want to do. I think the second one, getting used to being older, but not old. I woke up a couple of years ago in the morning, like I normally do, and all of a sudden I'm brushing my teeth, and the first thing I do in the morning, as I told you, is makeup goes on 6 o'clock in the morning. Now let me be honest with you. I don't know how you are, but at 6 o'clock in the morning, I ain't looking the best, okay? I mean, it's from the night before, and I have a little mascara over here that I didn't take off, and, all of a sudden there's nothing on the face but the face itself, And I'm looking and what the hell is that over there? Oh, my God, and then, oh, Lord. I didn't notice that line. Oh, there's a few of them over there. And all of a sudden, you begin to look in the mirror, and you say, is that me? Well, yeah, that's you. But you know what? It's you in the most positive way because it's the natural you. I went out with someone the other night. We're sitting around, and this is a doctor, okay, a retired doctor. And we went out with himself, and there was 2 other couples. And we're sitting around, and I had just come back from an audition and a film shoot. So that day, I was loaded with things. Barely managed to get in the house, put some fresh clothes on, just touched up my makeup, which was very little, and went out. And the doctor was kind of looking at me all evening, and I've been out with him several times. And he said to me, you know what? Tonight you look better than ever. And I looked at him, I said, well, thank you. And I said, I really don't have a lot of makeup on. He said, stop. He said, but there's a real you there. he said, you don't need a lot of makeup. You don't need a lot of things. Because he said most people, when they're at their best, are at their natural best. So remember that. Each one of us is beautiful in our own way. Sometimes we think of getting older as, oh my God, it's a terrible thought. Take that thought away. But getting older is a fact of life. But how we get older, that's what makes the difference. Bette Davis, who I loved. In fact, the funny thing, feeling age, I said to somebody, Bette Davis, and they went, who? Bette Davis, the renowned movie star, once said, old age is no place for sissies. Someone said the other day, we were talking, and they said, how does it feel to be 75 and a half? That half is very important. And I said, I really don't think about it. I see other people, like if I go to Kaiser and getting a shot or going to get my eyes taken care of or whatever. And I look at some people that have to walk, you know, have a wheelchair or are really sick and all that. And what I do is, I say to myself, up there, to whoever, thank you. Because what you did for me is you gave me many more years to be well. And I also think it's a positive feeling in myself too. Because I have a friend of mine and I adore her. I adore her. She's younger. She's 73, okay? But let me tell you, this girl is like 95 or 100 in her attitude and in what she thinks and what she feels. She doesn't think in a positive way. It's like, I call her, hi, how are you? What's going on? Never ask a negative person how they are. Unless you want to be in the telephone for 4 hours. Or I'll say to her, so what's going on? Oh my God, what's going on? That's another thing. That's another pathway you take, right? And then she'll say, so what are you doing today? Well, let's see. I have a seminar I have to go to. I'm giving. Then I have a photo shoot, and then I'm coming back, and I'm writing my book, and then I'm doing this, and oh my God! Why don't you call me when you're all done? So I told her, I said, well, that will be like around 1 in the morning, you know. But I mean, and now she just retired. Now she took the word retired literally. She retired to the couch. And she said to me, oh, did you see that great show on TV at like 3 in the afternoon? I said, no, I'm not home at 3 in the afternoon. No. Oh, and then there was one at 10 o'clock in the morning. No, I didn't catch that one either. But you see, there's a mentality. She already had a mindset. Her mindset was already, retire means sit.
Retire.
I mean, it doesn't mean that at all. Retirement means you retired from one thing to another thing. So it's a reinvention. I keep using that word reinvent because you know what? It is. It's a restart. It's a reinvent. It's a recycling of all these things. And you don't have to slow down. Whatever you decide to do now, at this time in your life, do it. Because being alone is really your choice. Not my choice, not your family's choice, it's your choice. And I say to you also about relationships. How many here are married? Okay. How many here are in a relationship? Okay. Raise your hand, I think it's great. Raise your hand. Good girl. Woo!
Good for her.
Good for her. Now, ask the question, Jackie. How many are in relationships? Okay, right here. I go out, and this, I swear to God, this is funny, with 3 different gentlemen, okay? Now, they're all completely different. One is the doctor I was telling you about, retired. The other one is a contractor, very, very sweet man. And the other one is an actor. okay? So if you don't think that's fun, it keeps you on your toes, it does.
That's interesting.
Now, but in going out with these gentlemen, let me tell you another secret about life and about reinventing yourself. When we get up in the morning, as I said, I get up and I put my makeup on. I don't know how you girls do it. But when I walk out of this house, I look like I'm going to lunch somewhere. I'm not, but I look good. I look my best. Because you never know who's out there. I don't know how you are. And let me tell you a little secret. Each and every one of you sitting here today should get the feeling that if you want to meet people, it can be other people, other women, or it can be the opposite sex, whatever. You got to look your best. I don't say you have to be a size 3 or a size 5, but I say, you know what? You have to look nice. Your hair has to be done. There can be a little makeup on. Because you know what? When you walk by somebody, it's your attitude. It's how we carry ourselves. I mentioned to somebody about meeting people, and they said, but you know, Jackie, you're always ready. We see you around here, and boy, I tell you, you're just happy in your attitude. And now, how do they know that? By the way we carry ourselves. I mean, I'll walk into a group, and the minute I walk in the door, I'll say, hi, how are you? I'm Jackie. Oh, hi, and you're so-and-so. Now walk over to the next group. You know what? I meet a lot of people that way. I know a lot of you say, well, you know, I'm not that pushy. Well, you know what? You don't have to be pushy. It's not a question of pushing yourself. It's a question of the difference between being assertive and aggressive. You can be assertive in your attitude. And you know, people appreciate that because they want to say hello to you. They want to meet you.
But it's also a question of personalities, not
Yes,
just that
I
you
agree
can
with
say,
you.
do.
No,
You
I
have
totally
to-
agree. I am over the hill. I mean, and I don't mean age-wise. I mean, I am out there. But my nature has always been out there. I mean, I was like 3 years old, my mother said, God rest her soul. And I was in little blue jean, little pink shirt. And in those days, who had money? And my dad was in the county hospital. And my mother was going to visit him. He had pneumonia. And she had me by the hand, and she was pregnant with my sister. And we get on the bus. And 3 years old, I had a mouth. And I get on the, and everyone was sitting there. And my mother said, I stood there with my hands on my hip. And I said, isn't anybody going to be a gentleman and give my mother a seat? 3 years old. So the attitude was there. I mean, you know, 3 years old, I mean, wow, you know. Or I can remember my grandfather was a junk dealer. And he had a horse and wagon, and he would go around and get junk from everybody. And he had a barn, and that barn was filled with newspapers, okay? And the barn had thousands of newspapers. And I would stand up, and he'd say, Jackie, are we ready for another newspaper? You know, I'd, yeah! And he would grab it and shove it up, and I mean, it just grew and grew. And one day, there was a man who was coming to buy some newspapers. And in those days, it was like 3 cents a pound, 4 cents a pound, whatever. And I can remember the man saying to my grandfather, you know, Abe, you know, that's a lot of money, you know, 4 cents. And I yelled down, it ain't a lot of money, so just give it to him.
So you always like this, Jackie?
Always like it. Yeah. So I understand one can't be always like that. But you know what? In your own way, though, Dahlia, you can always approach someone and say hello. Because a hello comes from inside. And all it means is, I'd like to be a friend. Or I'd like to make your acquaintance. And hi, Judy, how are you? I'm Jackie. Nice to see you here. I love the red on you. Please go on. And it's a conversation. And it begins. The most important thing when we do that is I say to people, you know what? In life, it's not what you're doing. It's the way in which you do it. Putting the words positive attitude into your daily life. How do you take positive ideas and make them into dynamic achievements? I have an equation. The equation is attitude plus positive energy minus negativity equals accomplished goals. And it's really a very, very good equation. And by the way, I was terrible in math. Good in words, but bad in math. In fact, Mr. Dalrymple. Now, I can't remember what I did yesterday, but I remember Mr. Dalrymple, who was my algebra teacher. Handsome man, as I remember. And now you're going back a lot of years, right? And I can remember saying to him, I got all A's in my report card. And he was saying, you know, Jackie, I hate to tell you, but, you know, you're going to get a C in algebra. Oh, Mr. Dalrymple, what can I do? You know, it's just not going through. And he says, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a few extra lessons. Maybe we can get your grade up a little. Because I had all A's, and here's the C, that would have brought everything down. I went to him every afternoon for like 2 weeks. And he gave me extra assignments, and I did them in class, and he helped me. On my report card, I got a B minus. Now, as long as it was a B, my grades were okay, and it brought my grades, I think, down to like a B plus with everything, which for college was fine. But I can remember his attitude. Now, he could have said to me, you know what, just try harder, or just get a tutor, or whatever. He didn't do that. He took it upon himself to help me, and I'll never forget, Mr. Dalbert, wherever you are today. This is it. You know what? We choose to do or not to do certain things in our life. I like this word. Respond to life. Don't react to it. We can override a lot of the things in our life, a lot of the fears in our life, by taking a risk and saying, you know what? The hell with it. I'm going to do it. So I always say to people, toss away any negative things that you have, any hate that you have. Grudges. Don't keep a grudge, okay? And to be envious of somebody doesn't make sense. Because you know what? It only reacts on us. And you don't want it to do that. I must admit something. And I learned this a few years back. In my family, we have a lot of intermarriage, into relations, into marriage, inter-ethnic things. I mean, we have Black, Indian, American, we have Japanese, we have, you name it, we have it, okay? And I was going to a party one evening, and this was a clergyman. And he came over to me and he says, Jackie, I'm so sorry. Okay, you're so sorry about what? Well, I heard about the marriage of your son and your new daughter. Oh, I said, well, I don't understand. I said, I'm very happy. She's a lovely young lady, a Rhodes Scholar. She's Japanese, educated. I mean, she's more than I ever thought I would have in a daughter-in-law. She's wonderful. Oh, he said, well, after all, I mean, you know, she is of a different race. I looked at him and I walked away, which was wrong. And this was years ago. I mean, they're married now 27 years. And I kept that grudge. So every time I would see this particular clergyman inside, I would feel funny. Instead of facing him and saying to him, excuse me, I don't know what your problem is, but I don't have a problem. My daughter, my new daughter, is wonderful. She cares about me and the family. So what difference does it make what she is? The kind ways and who she is what counts. But I kept that grudge. And to this day, was always sorry that I didn't confront him. So there's, I mean, we all have it in our lives, that we all do these things and we say, damn it, why did I let that bother me? Because it bothered me for years to come. But once you get it out, it's gone. It's history. So I always say, it gave me, when you do things that are positive, and you tell someone something that's on your mind, you have taken back a part of your life that's very important. toss away all these grudges. Remember, what's inside of you is what's going to come out if you let it. So, don't say, I could have done that. I would have done that, but I should have done that. Get rid of those words. I want you to think of, I can, I will, I must, and I am. And you know what? Repeat after me. This is the life.
This is the life
I am dying to live.
I am dying to live.
I love that. This is the life I'm dying to live. Think about it. It's so contrary, and it's so true today. Shirley, when you woke up this morning, what was your first thought?
I looked in the mirror and I said, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful,
I asked her when I came over, are you beautiful today?
I said, I'm beautiful.
It's very funny. It's a friend of mine was saying to me, she says, I got up this morning and I really wasn't feeling that great. And she said, and I called you. She said, you just make me feel so good. She said, you get on the phone with, hi, hello, good morning. And then it was very funny. One time I did that to my friend who was like negative. I said, hi, good morning. She said, oh, wait a minute. Oh, God, it's so loud, good morning. I said, hello. I said, but this is the way I am. Oh, I know, but so early in the morning. It was like, no, I should be like that at 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't think so. Learning to laugh with yourself and love beyond yourself. Now that's a very interesting thing. Learning to laugh with yourself and love beyond yourself. Let's think about that for a minute. Charlotte, laugh with yourself and love beyond yourself. What do you think?
Well, I think laughing gets rid of these lines here.
And loving?
Well, you have to love people, yeah. And you need people. You can't live without people.
No. It's very funny. Some people say, how did you react when your husband passed away and, life had to go on, And I said, you know what? It took me about a year, truthfully, to get my act together, okay? Then after a year, I said to myself, and I looked in the mirror, and I said, Jackie, you gotta get up. You really have to begin to live a little. I mean, it's fine, to go with the kids for dinner, and it's fine to go with your best friend somewhere or have her over or whatever. But you know what? You've got to really start to live. So the first thing I did, and I was still working at the time, first thing I did was start to volunteer. And that got me out. And the second thing was, about a year, a little after a year, I went to a dating party, I told you. And first one I went to, man walks over to me and says, hey, from one loser to another, how are you? And I went, I'm out of here. Because you know what? I didn't feel like I was a loser. I mean, I felt a little alone. I felt a little bit, like, wow, there's a whole world out there, and now I got to get back into it. But I wasn't a loser. Even though you lose someone or something, you're not a loser. But his attitude was, yeah, well, I'm not a loser. Well, who needs him? Who needed that whole group? I mean, it was not for me. But you know what? It took me a little time to get there. It's okay to take time. It's all right to take a while. But if it's taking you too long, we have a problem. And you have a problem. And truthfully, I would love to help if anybody really can't get out there. Because it's not as easy as I say, okay? It is hard. Because you gotta put one foot, then you gotta put the other foot, and then you gotta, oh God, I gotta get dressed today, you know? Gotta get that makeup on, and you know, I gotta look my best, and I gotta smile, even though kind of sometimes you kind of feel a little weepy inside. But you do it. You do it. And we are all capable, sitting here, of doing it. Now, I got up this morning, besides taking my vitamins, I took 2 Advil. I have a sciatic problem. Starts from here, goes all the way down. Son of a bitch. And here I am with 3-inch heels on. Well, why? Because, hello, I have a seminar today. And I gotta look my best, so I don't care whether I'm dying, but I'm gonna wear my heels. But anyway, my point is that we all have our days that we're kind of, you know, not feeling our best. And you know what? Young people feel the same way. I mean, I called my son up. When my son, this is my older one, he's going to be 56 years old.